If Mike Pence wasn't such a rhino, then he would have done it, but he didn't.
Is it a rhino move to not put Donald Trump in front of the Constitution?
Move not to support your party, absolutely.
Saying that the idea of somebody releasing their delegates is comparable to someone asking their vice president to determine who wins the election.
The guy was incompetent.
And you have lights in your fucking room. Yeah, what are you, like 5? I mean, how can I take anybody serious that has fucking Christmas lights in their bedroom?
You're right. You're right. That completely changed my mind. Trump's not an insurrectionist anymore. I forgot that I had Christmas lights in my room.
Your whole page.
Well, how much more evidence do you need?
Hey, new news today. The Fulton County mayor is making an apology because there is now proof that there was fraud in Fulton County, Georgia during the Biden-Trump.
I'm looking that up right now.
Yep.
I'm looking that up right now just to see if that's true.
Tap the screen. If you're in the comments, tap the screen.
Can I just make something clear real quick?
If that is true, at what point does the American people stand up for their rights? If that is true.
Can I make something clear real quick?
So what you were talking about, a newly GOP aligned election board in Georgia is pushing to reinvestigate the state's vote.
Actually, no, he came out and said it. We owe Donald Trump an apology. We need to look that up.
Can I make a point
I'll go find it real quick. I'll go to Twitter and find it.
No, who said that? I'm confused. Hello?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Okay, there's 2 people talking in my ear.
I'm pretty sure it was the mayor, but I'm not 100%.
I'm not finding that anywhere. I'm looking at it right now. What I'm finding is there is a new elected GOP aligned board that wants to reinvestigate.
I just want to make something clear. The reason that he sent his supporters to the Capitol wasn't to overturn Georgia's findings. It was for Mike Pence to unilaterally throw out electoral votes from Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan, Arizona, Wisconsin, Nevada, and New Mexico. So we can't isolate this to Georgia. He was trying to get the vice president to certify his falsely slated electors in favor of the ones that were certified by the state. Just to be clear.
Okay, Grant, I'm looking at it right now. Hold on.
All right,
It's all laid out
I'm
by
sorry.
the-
I just I had to handle some things.
We went to court, and it was all thrown out.
Hey, Rin, y'all.
So, okay, speaking of court, since we're talking about court, I'm going to bring it up. I'm so sorry. I'm bringing it up. How are you guys defending the 34 fraud charges he has right
How
now?
many days has he spent in jail, miss?
Right, so that's why he's running for president, so that he can avoid going to jail.
Hey, you know what? Hold on, Anthony, 1 sec. If she was a real criminal, then if he was a real criminal, he would already be in prison. Okay. Now you can see that by the statistics of people actually being sentenced on the real streets. All right.
But the difference between
Those were
Trump and those
misdemeanor
people.
charges that got brought up to felonies.
So the
that should
first-
never have
We
happened.
know that. We know
It's a rogue DA.
The first thing I want to say is
one
he's
year.
going to be sentenced in September. The second thing I wanted to say is, I'm so sorry. What was your other point about that? Can you repeat it? I had something else to say to you about this.
One candidate.
The reason why those people are in jail right now and Trump isn't is because Trump has loads and loads of generational wealth. Those people are regular people who are going to jail every day.
No, it's called presidential immunity, miss, and that's exactly what he had on January 13th. Or not January 13th, but you know what I mean.
So I just want to be clear. You're saying that it makes sense to you and you think that it's a good idea to give the president immunity, even though he engaged in a conspiracy to overturn the 2020 election. You think that's okay?
Right?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Why? Is
Why?
that?
I just think the president should have immunity when he's president.
Why?
To be fully above the law?
Yes.
But for what reason?
So you
Like,
want a king. You don't want a president. You want a king.
Yeah.
I guess I do.
Okay.
I think Trump has a right to question the validity of the vote.
You're
That's
right.
not
He
what
did.
we're talking about
Real
anymore,
quick,
actually.
he did have the right to challenge the integrity of the vote.
Well, it
But
sounds
that
like he
time,
does
that
it.
time, the
I
time to
appreciate you
challenge
guys
that.
coming in here.
Real quick, the time to challenge that was before January 6th. And then he tried to pressure his vice president to decertify state certified electors, even though there was no evidence to do that under, and there was no
And the Democrats are already saying they're gonna
constitutional
do the
precedent
exact
to do
same
that under.
thing with Trump.
This is
wins the
also a
election this
former vice
time.
president who now is saying that he should not be elected again, by the way.
And then I also want to be clear that two of the lawyers that came up with this false electorate scheme for Donald Trump pled guilty to the Georgia indictment.
Yep.
So it's not like these charges are made up. Donald Trump doesn't even deny them. He just said that he should be immune from prosecution because he was the president.
Yes.
Yes.
So
what did he do wrong again? I'm not following. I don't see he did anything wrong.
He pressured his
just like
vice president to throw out
like Obama
state-certified electors
Just
in
like
favor
Obama
of his
was.
fraudulently assembled
Pfizer.
electors.
wait, okay, I'm so sorry. Y'all asked
Business.
Rinyal to talk, so let him
Illegal.
talk.
Hey, I apologize. My son woke up. I have to go. So we'll
This
see you
seems
guys
like
later.
good
You're
business.
good, Eric.
brother.
Thanks
It
for a
was
good
nice
debate.
having
Have a good
you,
one.
bro.
Yep.
I'm gonna follow you, G. All right.
So it's not contested that he pressured Pence to throw out state-certified electors in favor of their fraudulently assembled electors. My
Yeah,
question is if you think that's okay for him to do, why would you leave the fate of the election in the hands of someone with special interests in who wins?
Because
Right.
he's a business.
Business king.
Yeah. Rinyald. Joe Biden has actually made this country a liability since he's been in office.
So here's a fun thing.
You're just
Biden
fully
actually,
pivoting off of the fact
Yeah.
that Trump tried to overturn the 2020.
also
That's
Biden
not
actually
what he
isn't
did.
running right now, so
That's
that
not
isn't
what
really
he did
relevant
at
to the
all.
conversation.
That's
Winning
exactly
it.
what he did. I just told you exactly how he did it too, and you said that it was
Winning is-
fine because you won a king.
Winning
Biden
is
should have never
winning.
ran in the first place.
But do you honestly think those 34 counts are going to stick? I mean, it was 34.
He's
34
going to be
counts.
sentenced next month, dude.
Yeah, he's sentenced
not
next
gonna get
month.
sentenced. He'll never
He's
get
not
sentenced.
getting
It'll
sentenced.
never
But
happen.
he literally
Not gonna
is.
get
Like it's
sentenced.
He
If you
literally
think the Secret Service is
won't
gonna let
happen.
anyone touch him, you're out of your mind.
They're made up. Those were misdemeanor charges that were brought up.
no,
by
no,
Smith
that's
to be
those are
felonies. Don't say
My
no.
question is-
fraud counts.
Why do you keep diverting away from the proven plot to overturn the election in favor of some bullshit fraud charges in New York?
Thank you.
Tell me why the
Overturn the
judge's
election.
daughter
How
was
is that-
caught
how did he
funding
try to overturn the
money
election?
from a court case.
We can fully throw out the indictments. There's still proof of all of this. Look up the John Eastman memo that was delivered to Trump. Look up Trump on January 5th saying that Mike Pence has the ability to throw out electors that he deems unfit. Look up in the January 6th speech how he says that he hopes Mike Pence does the right thing and we win the election.
Well, because he was vice president and he did have the right to do that.
No,
didn't.
he does not have
didn't.
the right
And
to throw out electors who he
if he
doesn't think-
did, then all of the judges that proposed this to Donald Trump wouldn't have been indicted for it, and two of them wouldn't have pled guilty to election tampering.
No, if Mike Pence wasn't such a rhino, then he would have done it, but he didn't.
Is it a rhino move to not put Donald Trump in
It's
front
a
of the
rhino move not to
Constitution
support your party. Absolutely. It's a rhino move not to support your party.
at all
Just like-
costs?
just
So
like
you're
it's
saying
a-
that he
just
should have
like it's a-
overturned
just
the
like it's a
election
chick-
for?
Hold on a second.
should
Hold
have-
on a second. It's like hold on a second.
Is a
Just like it's
rhino a
chick-
good thing or a bad thing?
just like it's a chicken shit move that you guys, what your party did to Biden. How they just cooed his ass right out of the presidency. That's a
He
chicken shit
stood
move.
down and he released his
He did
delegates.
not
That was
stand
his
down.
choice.
They were gonna 25 his ass if he wouldn't
So-
have, if he wouldn't have stepped down.
So
Come
you're
on,
saying
man.
that
Please.
the idea of
Please.
somebody
He-
releasing their delegates is
the guy
comparable
was-
to
the
someone
guy was
asking their vice
incompetent.
president to
The
determine
guy
who
was-
wins the
guy was
election?
incompetent. Everybody saw what happened after the debate, and so they were running scared. So they pushed him out of the way. That's exactly what happened.
So I just want to you think
Hey,
that
Anthony.
it is
Sorry, real
on
quick.
equal
Anthony.
Okay, yeah.
I just feel like we don't need to be shouting. I feel like we can just keep this at a
I'm not
level
shouting.
tone. So
This
if
is
we
me
oh,
talking.
but you
I
are
have- I have
though.
a-
I feel like if
No,
we
I'm
just
not.
keep
I
it
have
at
a
a
hearing
level
problem.
tone.
Excuse me, I
Okay,
have a
cool.
hearing
If we just-
problem. That's why
Totally
I
fine. If we just
One at a time, guys, please.
Okay. So I'm not.
that's
I'm
what
not
I'm trying to say
shouting.
basically. One at a
Have
time is
hearing
basically
problem.
what I'm trying to say. Same thing.
Okay.
All right, let
I
Teddy
have
talk.
a
real
disability.
quick.
That's why I
I
speak
just-
loud.
I just want to be clear that you think that it is on equal ground and equally undemocratic for a fully legal process of releasing your delegates and stepping down from re-election and trying to unconstitutionally pressure your vice president to determine the outcome of an election. You think those two are on equal grounds?
That's not what he did. That's not
That's
what
exactly
he did.
what he did.
That's not what he did. That's not
Okay,
what he did.
if that's not what he did, then ask any lawyer, any lawyer with any constitutional background if the Eastman memo was constitutional, and then get back to me.
Was he charged with it?
Yes, in Georgia.
Was he charged
God.
with inciting a riot?
Doesn't matter if he incited a riot. He tried to get his vice president to decertify certified state electorate votes in favor of his fraudulently assembled ones.
He wanted him to investigate properly.
The day to investigate voter fraud was between November 3rd and January 6th.
That's what he was
Why are
doing.
you yelling?
Because
Do you have a Snickers close
I'm
by?
just asking
I
why you're
think
yelling,
the
that's
reason
all.
he's yelling
Because-
is because you're all talking over him and you're not allowing him to have a single word. And that's why I just stopped talking, because I was getting yelled over.
it's also because I'm frustrated, because it feels like people will jump through hoops to justify an unconstitutional plot to overturn an election just because they like a politician.
No,
Oh,
you're not.
absolutely.
So,
You're not upset about
so
the
my,
coup.
my
that
question
happened in
is,
your party, though.
my question is, where was your passion in the BLM riots?
When
okay,
did
so here's the
BLM
thing.
try to
Ooh.
overturn the election?
Ooh, here's the thing. I can
we're-
talk on this. No, I can talk on this real good. I got this.
Yeah.
So the
You
Black
seem
Lives
like a
Matter
follower.
movement. So the Black Lives Matter movement is actually a decades-old movement, like since pretty much since the Black
I was talking about
Panthers. It's the
riot.
same thing.
I was talking
Right,
about
so
riots in
I'm
Ohio
getting to
where
that.
they
It
burned
is
down
not the
cities.
So
same thing
I'm
as the
getting
Black
to that.
Panthers.
Do you want to
It
let
is
me
not
talk?
the same thing as the Black Panthers.
You're right.
You
It's
cannot
not the
do
same
that.
thing.
That's
It does stem from that.
misinformation.
You're so
That's
right. It does stem from that.
misinformation.
So I did say it stems from that.
No, it
Would you
doesn't
let me
stem
talk,
from that.
please?
It doesn't stem from
Hey,
it.
hey, do you want to let me
You're
talk?
wrong, though.
Because I know what I'm talking about.
From that. That's so crazy to even say that.
I love
Yeah,
that
you're-
you guys wanted to hear this, and now you're just talking over me.
I'm gonna mute
Like
up
you guys
till you're
asked.
done.
I don't
Yeah,
want to
no, I
hear you
can't-
say that it's
I can't have her in here saying that crazy misinformation, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm from the Bay Area. I got brothers that are out there. I just came from a
Yeah,
live.
she just wants to be accepted. She just wants to be accepted. That's all. She's a sheep, just like the rest of them.
Arrested. Yeah, no, you came up with some crazy statement about how BLM is associated with pretty much the Black Panthers, and that is way out of there. I'm sorry.
So the answer to what the justification was to pressuring your vice president to decertify votes that were certified by the states was, what about BLM?
Okay, no, I was saying great. I just see you have a lot of passion against Trump, but we all know that everyone's made mistakes. But I've been listening for a minute, and I've heard you not one time say anything or criticize Biden or Harris from all the things they've done under their administration.
I think
Now, what do
Biden
you
handled
believe
the
they
border
haven't done
poorly.
it?
There you go.
Or do
I
you
think
believe they
Biden
haven't
handled the
done-
border poorly.
Or do you believe they haven't done anything incorrectly? Or you think they did a great job, is what I was asking you.
I think Biden handled the border improperly, but that doesn't hold a candle to an attempted coup de grace of the government.
Whoa, that's crazy,
What?
dude. Didn't they just
So
fully?
you-
Didn't Hunter just take charges? Like literally?
What, of like gun charges?
Oh, I mean, you can't say that on this
Oh,
live.
pew
but-
pew. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. So isn't that what happened?
Yeah, but that wasn't in service of. That wasn't related to overturning an election.
I think it was.
So
I think
I
it was.
say you're stuck
Joe,
on the
I think it was
election.
Joe. I think it was Joe Biden's
sorry,
old boy.
Wes.
That, no, you're good. I feel like it was Joe Biden's old boys that kind of had something to do with him being put away, or he's about to be.
Yeah,
Well,
if
we
he broke
know
the law,
Biden
then he
weapon-
should be put away.
We know Biden weaponized the DOJ, the FBI, every agency there is to
Against his own son.
persecute. No, I'm talking about his political. I'm talking about his political opponent. No, his son was just something they threw to the wolves. That was a sacrificial lamb. That's what he was.
So then, my question is, how do you address all of the evidence that supports the Georgia indictment? We have the falsely filled out certificates of ascertainment from the false electors. We have all of the statements that Trump made. We have text evidence of all of the things that are detailed in the Georgia indictment.
Well, we're seeing when it goes to court, right?
Say again?
Or do we still believe in the justice system? I mean, you guys are great with the justice system. Use it you guys use it more than anywhere else, especially against your political opponents. And I want to ask you a question. Do you think that Biden did not weaponize his Department of Justice and every other agency to go after Trump for political reasons?
There's no evidence of it.
When you get done, I want to ask a question, BA.
There's no evidence of it.
You have Smith. You get Smith in there, who wasn't even supposed to be part of it, and they come on, they attack one person, Donald Trump. They have all these indictments on him for what? They're all made up indictments.
They're not. Disprove one thing in the Georgia indictment.
Nothing will stick. I'm telling you. Because
now nothing will stick because the Supreme Court just ruled he's criminally immune. So obviously now nothing's going to stick.
Well, why is he criminally immune? Why?
Because he's the president.
No, bullshit. He's not the president. He was a president, but he's not the president now. Why won't it stick?
The criminal immunity applies to what you did as the president. He did all of the false elector stuff as the president. The only thing that has a chance of sticking is the New York one, but that one, who really cares about the New York one?
Hey, Renaud, give me 10 seconds.
About the 34 counts that are going to stick to 34 felonies. That's not going to stick.
I never brought that up, but
whether you agree with it. Whether you agree with it or not, let me just do a couple comparisons on some things, and you can just agree with it in your head while I'm going through it. One guy supports Jesus and the foundation of a family. One guy supports homosexuality. One guy supports keeping our borders safe and under control. One guy's letting everybody in.
Oh my God! Are you serious?
What, Aaron, we can go on, but I'm just saying there's definitely an evil agenda.
Okay, if I can do a comparison, one guy respects the foundation that built this country and the peaceful transfer of power, and one guy sent his supporters to the Capitol to try and subvert it.
You must have did a lot of homework.
He can't control people, man. How are you going to say he was under influence? He can control people.
Can I ask you a question? If somebody knowingly drives someone else to the scene of a murder and they get indicted
That's not
that
what's
person
right.
for murder. Let me finish. Let me finish.
TikTok guidelines. You can't say that word.
I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. You're right. If someone drives someone knowingly to the scene of a crime, and the person they drove gets committed of that crime,
in the chat, guys.
should they also be convicted?
No, you can't. Everybody knows that's accessory.
Exactly.
That's an unrealistic comparison.
No, it's not.
Is it? Because Donald Trump
it's
did say on January 6th, we're going to march onto the Capitol. So, I mean, it's not totally
He didn't mean to do destruction.
He removed the metal detectors because his pew-pew guys couldn't get through because of them.
That's just a loophole liberals found.
He also told them to fight like hell or else you're not going to have a country anymore.
That's the way Republicans talk.
He also said after the people broke into the Capitol that Mike Pence didn't have the courage to save his country.
What part are you leaving out, though?
What's wrong with
Nancy
that?
Pelosi telling her daughter in the car, "It was my fault. We should have got those 20,000 troops to help with Donald Trump." Oh, you forgot about that, right?
Donald Trump never ordered those troops. He made an offhanded comment in a call with a general. He never ordered the troops.
You're delusional. He said it. He had it in writing that he offered him 20,000 troops.
Where's
He
that?
was tweeting out to them that they were doing a good job.
Hold on a second. Nancy Pelosi refused them.
Nancy Pelosi doesn't have the power to do that.
Bullshit. Nancy Pelosi does have the power to refuse or accept the troops. The National Guard. Are you kidding me?
Why would the House of Representatives have the power to deploy the National Guard?
Because he offered them the day before.
He said that in a phone call. He never formalized the order. I don't know if it's because he's a dumb fuck or because he wanted to have people at the Capitol, but he never formalized the order. His own general attested to that.
Because you didn't listen when she said it was my fault. It was my fault I didn't accept the 20,000 National
Let's
Guard.
not
I don't give a fuck what Nancy
guys,
Pelosi's daughter
guys,
said. I give a
hey,
fuck what
guys.
the general said.
Well, you really should, because
You guys.
she said herself it was her fault.
He
Hold
was
on, dude.
he was
Hey, hold
tweeting
on.
out to them
You
that they
guys, I
were
want,
doing a
I
I
good
want to
job.
remind
The
y'all
host
this
is
is
talking.
opposition, and y'all should listen to each other and have opposition.
Yeah, let's be respectful, guys.
Yeah, listen, I don't want anybody
passionate.
coming in my live calling anybody names, even know how passionate we are about our beliefs.
I apologize.
That's gonna be messing up everything we got going on here.
Yeah, for sure. I apologize. Ryan Yold, I apologize. Whatever your name is, I apologize.
It's okay. And I just want to be clear. I wasn't insulting you. I was insulting Trump.
Well,
I apologize.
my question, Ryan, is everything you seem to have this passion for the hate that you have for Trump, and I remember hearing somewhere that Nancy said that she didn't think that having the National Guard at the Capitol would be a good look.
I mean, that's possible, but she wasn't in charge of deploying it.
Okay, so why are you voting for Kamala, Ringel?
Because I don't want to vote for someone that tried to overturn the election.
Okay, let's not go on to that. But what policies does she have that you're going to base off that's factual evidence that you could show us? What website that she went to? You know what I mean? Anything like that, because we can prove how Donald Trump had his policies out there online, and we could find it there. But I mean, how could you? Can you show us something that Kamala has with walls or anything?
And you do believe, and you do know.
While anybody's
every
looking
president-
that up, I don't want a woman for a president.
And you do know.
No
hold on,
offense
bro.
to women at all.
Hold on. And you do know that almost every Democratic president has
Not this one.
has said that the election was stolen from them. Even Hillary
doesn't-
said it.
Like I said, I don't care that he contested the election because that's what November 2nd to January 6th is meant to do. The problem is that he tried to pressure his vice president to fraudulently decertify
And then-
state
and
certified
then they-
electors.
And then they falsified several documents. She was even guilty of spying on his campaign. She called him an illegitimate president. She constantly said
And then conceded
that,
on election night.
Can I finish, brother? I haven't cut you off one time.
Please don't make me mute you guys up, man. Come on.
You know what I mean? So, she constantly promoted the impeachment one, the impeachment two. I think she even paid for one of the Steele dossiers. So she did so many crooked shit, and even Nancy Pelosi, Margaret, what's her name, Margaret Taylor Greene. The speeches that were given in the Summer of Love, Harris came out and did a bail fund for the rioters. I mean, the list goes on and on. You're harping on one incident that you seem pretty factual on because you seem like you've done your research on bullet points. But when Trump is found innocent, what are you going to say then?
He's not going to be found innocent or guilty because they just ruled that he's immune. But then my question is if this was just one mistake and Donald Trump feels remorse, then why is he trying to pardon the January 6th rioters? And why hasn't he come out and apologized for trying to pressure his vice president into
Let me ask you a
decertifying certified
question.
state
Ringel.
electors?
Let me ask you a question. If he is found innocent, are you gonna accept that that's justice, that it's all fair and we're done?
He's not going to be found innocent or
If he
guilty.
does. If he does.
It's like impossible. It's not going to go to trial.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
that
already,
would mean it was
the
over
Supreme
with.
Court's already
wouldn't it?
ruled on. The
Actually,
Supreme Court's
they
already
can
ruled on.
still bring charges because it was dismissed with impunity. So they can still go back and say that even though he was
But they're not.
president, he was acting outside of his role as the president when he had that stuff done.
They
So-
won't
But
do
they're
that
not.
because the Supreme Court purposely made all of that language vague. He said, like,
Yeah,
an
and the
official.
Supreme Court's not gonna make this something stupid.
Real quick, I just want to say one thing. In the Supreme Court decision, they said that him firing Rosen and trying to certify Clark because Rosen wouldn't fraudulently send a DOJ letter to Georgia's government saying that their election was stolen, even though the DOJ hadn't found that. They said that was an official act because firing people in the administrative state is an official act granted to the president. So there's almost not a single thing that wouldn't be deemed immune or presumptively immune, according to the Supreme Court ruling.
I guess we'll have
And
to
the
see
Supreme's
because there
not-
are the
and
falsified
Supreme's not
documents.
going to go. Supreme Court's
Amen.
not going to go back on their judgment because it's going to make them look like they're, they're flip flopping. They're not going to go back on it.
You're right. So now we just have a king.
No, we don't have a king. We have a great president.
Yeah.
We have a king
would
that
be down
cannot be
for
held
King
criminally
Trump.
liable.
Oh, you mean we got somebody that's not following along in the system that you guys love so much?
Yeah, the criminal justice system.
That's
he's
exactly
fucking
what you
breaking every
believe
law
in.
that there
You
is.
don't believe in a
You talk
righteous
about-
system, bro. What are you
you talk so
talking
much
about? Look at
anger
all
and hate
look at all the
and-
people that have been bribed with money. Look at all the come on, man. Are you serious, bro? Don't make
Does
me
that have
go.
anything to do with anything that happened between
What you just
November
you
3rd
just
and January
basically
6th?
said that has nothing to do with I support criminals that run this country is all I heard from your mouth.
Did any of them try to overturn the election?
Trump's amazing.
What do you mean? Trump just called out for what he's seen. He's seen it how he called it, bro. What are you talking about? And that shouldn't be illegal in as being the president
What shouldn't be illegal?
by questioning the vote.
That wasn't the illegal part. The illegal part was pressuring his vice president to unilaterally throw out electoral votes.
Well, why does it matter? It should be a matter about the main people's vote.
Because a certified
What's it say in
a
our-
state's certified elector's vote is the
What's
people's
the
vote.
declaration? The Declaration of Independence say? We the people. All right.
And,
It doesn't say
and we the people
electoral
voted,
colleges.
and we the people voted, and then the state certified the electors that we voted for, and Trump tried to decertify them unilaterally through Mike Pence.
Well, we haven't seen any
the people-
investigations
we the
on any
people
of that.
voted.
I'm trying to see something. We're allowed to question
Ask,
that. Just like
ask
how
Mike
I'm-
Pence if he
listen,
did that.
Rinyal, I'm allowed to question just like how I question why isn't Congress asking for an audit from the IRS or the military complex that during Joe Biden's presidency got funded 777.7 million. Okay, passed by Congress. All right, during Joe Biden's presidency. Okay.
How many times did I say
You guys
that
are
I didn't?
warmongers.
How many
You
times
guys
did I
are
say that the
warmongers,
problem
bro.
wasn't questioning?
You guys are warmongers, bro.
How many times did I say that the problem wasn't
Democrats love
questioning?
war, and that's all it is.
And you guys love insurrection. I mean, we can play these games all
You-
day.
Insurrection
and you
is
love lights in your
wrong.
room.
Hey,
How
I have
are
a
you,
question.
Ryan?
I have a question.
How
Bill.
are you?
How do you feel about how do you feel about the poll?
How is this guy? How is this kid? How are you, bro?
I'm 20.
You're 20 years old?
Yeah.
Big badass.
Yeah,
Oh,
and you
man.
have lights in your fucking room. Yeah, what are you, like 5? I mean, how can I take anybody serious that has fucking Christmas lights in their bedroom?
You're right.
And you're
You're right.
pretending-
That completely changed my mind. Trump's not an insurrectionist anymore. I forgot that I had Christmas lights in my
Your
room.
whole page, everything you have is talking about this insurrection. You're 20 years old, bro, and you think you know everything. You know what I mean? He's going to find that the Supreme Court's already ruled on it. So what's your argument?
I'm
you're
sorry.
mad.
Listen,
He's
if,
right.
That's
if
so
I don't know
funny.
everything, then I'm ready to be proven wrong at any time.
Yeah, but the Supreme Court's already ruled on it, so get over it. It's over.
The Supreme Court didn't rule on whether or not he did the false electors. They just ruled that he's immune from criminal
Yeah,
immunity,
he
immune
has
from criminal
immune. That he has
prosecution.
immune. That he has immune, right? He's immune.
That doesn't mean he
Right?
didn't do it. That just means he won't face the law because now he's above it because we have a king now.
Are you mad? Are you mad at Hunter? Are you mad at Biden for all the things that they've done? Are you mad at Harris for all the criminal
Yes,
shit
but
she's
not
done?
as,
Are you
because
mad
they didn't
about
try to
that?
overturn the election.
Why? Because you learned a little bit and now you want to go on TikTok and preach.
Hey, I know.
Be
What?
is like a wise old
I
man
have a
schooling
question.
Renal.
I have a state.
Chico,
I have a
we're going to
statement.
introduce Chico to the chat.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
so we're gonna
I
do
gotta
this
beef.
kosher.
I'm a full disclosure. I'm Democrat, but I have a beef with them. Okay, this happened last week. Okay, here's what I don't like. We don't like when the right makes fun of Biden being, slow or Kamala not being black, but we go ahead and spread rumors that J.D. Vance the Republican vice president is a couch fucker. Now, there's no factual evidence that he's actually fucked a couch. What Democrats have done is told and asked the Associated Press, because they put out a article stating that there's no evidence that JD Vance has actually fucked the couch. But then these Democrats go, "Well, prove it," and they couldn't prove it, so they had to take it down. My personal belief: if JD Vance wants to fuck a couch, let him.
Yeah.
He isn't hurting anyone.
It's funny.
Okay,
I mean,
if he looks at a Chase Lounge and that weird motherfucker wants to fuck a Chase Lounge, let him, man. It's none of our business. What I do have a problem with is him spewing his man butter. Okay, but you know what? If that weirdo,
Hey, hold on.
like it.
Yeah, I mean, come on, bro.
It's true. We can't have it both ways. We don't want the right spreading rumors.
Yeah, but you're being ridiculous, bro. You just being ridiculous.
Can we get some people up here with a little bit more education? I mean, come on, like these people have been proven
It's
wrong
funny
time
this
after
kid.
time.
It's funny this kid comes up here, and I went on his page, and he does sound like he's pretty educated, and in the January 6th incident. But my issue is, Trump, they gave him immunity. It's over. It's done. Just like when they tell us all the time, Trump lost a.
It's so annoying. But it's really funny at the same time to see every conservative squiggle around the election. That they will do everything they can because they know it's indefensible. They'll attack my Christmas lights, they'll attack everything, but they will never engage on the facts because they know they're wrong and that they're outclassed at every step. Oh my god. It's so frustrating. They all want a king. I had the one guy concede that he did want a king, and then this guy's like, "Oh, well, he's criminally immune, so it's over."